Fred Hemmings, the first contest director, had an invite-only kind of list. It became just a one final heat for a few years there. And all the best pipe specialists took top honors, from Jeff Hackman to Jerry Lopez. As we get started with this one, a running barrel for Joel Parkinson. Right into a big blowtail off the top. It was incomplete on the maneuver, but getting a jump start on Connor Coffin in the first heat of round 5.
Yeah, that's what you got to do, Joe. Come out of the blocks firing and get a good score to kick things off. Former pipeline master knows exactly what he's got to do. He's got a really good read on this wave. I thought he almost blew it right there, but manages to come through that section. One of the best tube riders in the world, and that is exactly why. When it gets nice and technical, nice and tight, you can see how low Joel gets. Driving through that section right there is a super critical section, but Joel Parkinson knows he's got his work cut out. Connor Coffin, no slouch out here, took down Mick Fanning yesterday. I think that's in the back of Joel's mind.
Amazing start for Parko. You go back to the last Californian to win this event. You go back to 2000 when Rob Machado won. Connor trying to back it up for California this season. Couple of sections to work with the back door. A nice clean start for Connor. Parko's start with was a 6.0.
Yeah, not a bad way to start. Connor Coffin trying to fight his way back into this heat. Those little runners, you know, sometimes are the good ones. We've seen some great scores this morning. For those little smaller barrels, yet more sort of technical, a little longer. The judges have got nowhere to go but to give you a good score. Let's have a look at this one here. Connor slides up under that first section. And there's that little bonus section again. So not super deep. So we're not going to see that be a big score, Joe. It's just going to get him in a good rotation with the waves, try and get himself in a good position. But you can see him the whole way. So hence it's going to be a small score.
See that vision real quick for Connor Coffin flying out. Just a 2.83 to Parko's 6.0 start. Benji Weatherly's family. So you see the momentum generation hanging out there. Connor up and out. Just trying to get a little bit of momentum underneath Parko's priority. Still 1950 on the clock. So it's a little bit different from other venues. Some surfers stay kind of far away from pipe and they drive up here every morning. You don't have the locker room set up like you do at other venues around the world. A lot of people just stay in their homes, kind of check the surf from the balcony if they're lucky enough to be close. Parko's one of those guys right on the beach, driving through another big backdoor pit. He thanks the wave at backdoor. He's had a couple of heats that have been challenging wave-wise. This time he's probably had his quickest start he's had since round 1.
Well, I was about to say that. He's had, you know, the raw end of the deal, so to speak, when it comes to consistent waves through his heats. It's been scrappy wins. It's been those ones he's had to manufacture. And today, maybe it could be Joel's day. Look at this wave from Joel Parkinson. Coming straight out of that there. So great wave selection for Joel. You can see just driving, double pumping into that tube ride. You don't want to draw one line on these waves, Joe. You want to keep your board moving. You can see him right there, pumping and pumping through that inside bowl. Had he not done that, had he just created one line, it would have he wouldn't have had enough speed. He would have slipped down to the bottom of the wave. So you really do have to keep resetting that rail to get through those sections. You know, Sean Thompson was the first guy to do this. Now, if we have a look at Joel's wave again, there's a couple of different ways that you can ride the tube ride here. Now, if we sort of slow it down about there, if we stop it right now, okay, normally what guys do in the old days, they would draw a straight line through the barrel. And that was due to the riding those single fin designs. But what Sean Thompson created, which we all do now, is these guys are going to do this kind of movement through the barrel. They're going to get that pumping movement. You can see him driving. He's not drawing one line. He keeps resetting that rail, And what that does is it just gives him that maneuverability through the barrel. If you draw that straight line through the tube, you end up going to go sort of down towards the bottom of the wave, which is where you don't want to be. You want to keep that board moving up and keep pulling it back up, because it's the general gravity wants to pull you down to the bottom of the wave.
If he wins this heat, he'll take the lead off Griffin Colapinto. During the break, Connor made this wave.
Yeah, what a beautiful little wave there for Connor. Before that exchange, Joe, he was in a combo situation, so he needed 2 waves to get himself back into the mix. This is definitely a step in the right direction for Connor. A tight little barrel, 5.93. So he narrows that requirement, still needing an excellent score, though, to combat that 8.23 that Joel Parkinson locked in. So Connor still with a bunch of work to do. He's got plenty of time though, so 13 and a half minutes remaining. Look at that. I love that turn from Connor Coffin. I could watch that all day long, Joe. That rail surfing that you were talking about earlier that has taken him to a lot of success.
And Connor just kept it power-based as a young Grom, even though he had that in his arsenal. Deep behind the peak and backdoor. Parko finds the exit, sneaking out of that wave on his heels. He's making a lot of completions in round 5. Doesn't look frustrated. He's enjoying the moment. Still has the lead over Connor with 12:30 to go.
Yeah, that was classic Joel Parkinson right there. Identifying the fact that wave was going to shut down. So trying to maximize the time in the barrel. Did a great job in doing that.
For Joel, he's trying to improve on a 6.0 as we break this one down.
Yeah, look at that. Beautiful positioning there from Joel. And then just sees that exit. Now, had he timed that, if he was a second later on that situation, that would have been an incomplete ride. But so seeing that wave shutting down, coming out of that just in time. Joel Parkinson, obviously a pipeline master, and he won that here really at backdoor pipeline. So got an amazing relationship with this wave.
Connor's having a look though right now, and it looks like a nice chunky little backdoor wave.
Locking in, Coffin deep on this one. On the foam ball, still looking for the exit. That wave spits without him. Impressed with how far he went. Almost looked like he got to a standstill at the bottom of that drop. Not afraid to pull into a big closeout, 5.93. So Barton Lynch watching Parko's positioning, 8.23, 7.0, and it looks like he's just playing his own game in your eyes. But some of these guys who work at the Coast Guard are surf fans, surfers themselves, as we watch Connor's attempt here.
Yeah, you know what happened, Joe? Just looking at that, he needed to compress off the bottom to get that real direction. Now, look how tall he's standing once he pulled in there. And I mean, he traveled such a long distance, almost coming out of that, but he didn't get enough drive off that bottom turn in the barrel, and what it did was it just put him just a little bit behind the foam ball. Credit to him for being able to do that, Joe.
More waves on the wave pots. Connor taking a look under priority. Nice deep bottom turn, wide open backdoor pit. Smaller inside wave, but he enjoyed the ride. Looking to better a 2.83, but he's needed a much bigger number pots, a 9.3. Did you mind that he took that wave?
I don't mind it at all. I mean, it's keeping the rhythm going, you know. He's not sitting there waiting too much, wasting time, just, you know, and that's, in those occasions, your head can start coming into play, and you want to eliminate that. So how do you do that? By just riding waves.
So they're all watching on. Fun-looking wave pots.
So you see how nice and low he got off the bottom there? So had he done that on that wave before the bigger one, he would have made that barrel. Watch how low and compressed he is down more. Now he extends the body. And that'll give you that amazing drive that you need to get through that section. On the bigger wave, he sort of, by the time he was pulling into the barrel, he was already extended. So we didn't have that compression to give him that direction forward.
In the water now. With 15 seconds, Parko's going to let him go. Connor stands up into the pit. A big salute to backdoor, just saying thank you very much. He enjoyed the ride. He'll pack things up, enjoy the rest of the event on his own porch with his friends and family, turning in another great season on the World Surf League Championship Tour. And Joel Parkinson moves on into the quarterfinals as this one continues. Coming up next, Kyle Ibelli takes on Julian Wilson right after this.